Oh yeah, I remember this room. Gosh damn it. Here you go, John. Thanks. Thank you for the moral support. I thought I had it that time. I hit the ceiling. That was really frustrating. Right. If my son watches this replay in the future for the next 5 seconds, I just want you to look away so while John's in chat, I can do this. Anyway.
Hello and welcome to episode 20 of War of the Gods. I'm your host for the evening. I'm Woodhouse204, joined as usual by my co-host, Gareth. Say, things are looking up, Gareth.
Things are looking up, John. But do you know why things are looking up?
Why are things
I've got my COVID vaccination coming up this weekend. I suddenly got a message out of nowhere and I'm getting jabbed. Jabbed for the safety of others.
Yep. Gareth made, no qualms about telling me, hey, I'm going to be safe. You're not safe, are you? You're not safe, are you, John? No, I'm going to be safe. But anyway, we are playing War of the Gods, which is a Shining Force 2 mod, and we have brought back the wheel. The wheel of steel that is going to give us our new Shining Force for this week.
Wheel of Misfortune.
We have Zinc. No, she's a League character. You can't say that. We have Zinc and Celeste that joined us brand new on the last episode. So they automatically get a spot, as well as Bowie, who we cannot take out, for he is our leader. So we need to spin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 times to find out who our new characters are. So let's get to
Finger
it.
maths is the best maths. So are we hoping for an all-spellcaster team again?
No.
Oh,
And we're off to a fantastic start. We have Road straight away. Fantastic.
How do you feel about having that juicy booty back in the team?
I feel safe. I feel like I'm in my home, in my bed, with my favourite teddy and his tank.
Eric?
Ooh, Eric! Eric is back in the team. We haven't seen Eric in a while.
Have we actually even seen Eric? Yeah, we used him
yes,
once.
We have. Once. I think this is the second time he's going to be used. So there may be some emergency level.
There might be some blood loss.
So. Perhaps. Maybe Slade levels, we don't know yet. Let's see. So far, a good start, though.
Luke.
And Luke again. Wow, okay, we're getting some blasts from the past. Yeah. What was that? Eric and...
Road, Eric and Luke. After last week's catastrophe, I have a system.
Yeah.
I've got it. I'm not gonna close it in between windows. It'll be fine.
I'm making my own system.
Is it a pen and paper?
Because of what happened last week. It is a pen and paper, yes. No, it's Peter.
Guess who's back?
Oh,
back again. Nobody wants you, Peter. Yep. Stay away from the flats.
All right. Well, it can't all be great. So here's Peter. And Grim. Grim seems to be
Do you reckon?
Every time we do the wheel, Grim is on that wheel.
I think you've missed 1 out of 4. Yeah, something like that.
You might be right. I don't know.
As we famously said,
anyway, Grim's
check
in
the
again.
tapes.
Yeah, Grim's all right. There are better people, but he's not bad. Kana, excellent.
Here come the magic users.
I can't say anything. Yep. I have nothing bad to say about Kana.
They don't stop coming and they won't stop coming.
Alright, Gareth, this isn't the karaoke
other section.
video. Oh, goody, Rune again. I'm not sure how I feel about Rune.
They
like,
won't stop coming moment. The thumb.
Yeah.
The thumb is back.
Yeah, again, just like Grim, like he always seems to be in the team these days. How many is that? That's
7.
What is that?
2 more.
7? So 2 more. Oh, please be.
Please, for the love
Please
of
be
God,
one
be
of the
good.
ones that I actually want. Higgins, all right, I'm okay with Higgins. Higgins can come anytime he wants into the Shining Force. I'm fine with that. And last one, right?
It'll be Chester.
No, it'll be Slade. All right, another big juicy boy there.
We've got frontliners this time.
We have frontliners. This is looking up. So
I mean, we've got
that's
one, at least
who's
3.
in our team, Gareth?
We have Celeste, Rode, Eric, Luke, Peter, Grim, Connor. I don't know why I'm doing this with my hands. Rune, Higgins, and Randolph.
Did you say Zinc?
Yes, I said Celeste and Zinc.
Oh, okay. And of course Bowie. So that is our list for this week. And that is our force. So we are going to put together that team and we will be back in a moment. And welcome back. We've assembled our characters and we are ready to take on the Prism Flower fight. The infamous fight against a bunch of flowers.
Basically, it's just a kid weed whacking. I mean, we assemble.
You got to be careful how you say
Weed
that.
whacking.
You are early.
No. On time is late, as they say in the math.
Darn you, Grants! Darn you, Grantseal swine! But don't worry, I just finished my preparations. Yes, everything's ready. It's showtime!
I have flashbacks to something else with the phrase "it's showtime," but that's fine. All I've got now is that Gesp is me in the morning at work, and I've got people waiting outside of the door to come in, and I'm just like, yeah, I'll tell you when you come in.
Yeah, because you have the power.
Well, the keys, but
no, you have the power. Don't worry about it. So Astral, why is he smiling?
just his face.
He believes this is the place where we will die. Woody,
Why
be
did
careful.
Sir Astral suddenly get very gallant in your voice acting?
Because I'm good at voice acting.
He
Thanks for noticing.
He went from like one voice to being like, I was just waiting for him to come in on a white horse in his shiny armor, ready to sacrifice himself, kind of voice. I like how there's a griffin just chilling on that mountainside, like, I'll see how it out.
Yeah.
I might join him. The Tinkerer, we've seen them before.
We have seen the Tinkerers before. I don't think there's any new characters
Except
here,
for
is
the
there?
plants. Lazy plant.
Fair enough. Yes, we should look at the plants. The Prism Flower with the attack of
This
20.
feels like a lie. Like, I'm sure the Prism Flowers had like a redonkulous attack previously.
Yeah.
Like, you'd be like, oh, and then you didn't realise they can shoot as far in a straight line as possible.
Gareth, what's the deal here? Why are we being tricked?
Are we going to respawning flowers?
I know why we're being tricked, because we're playing War of the Gods, but how are we being tricked here?
Do you reckon it's... Well, is it Shining Tactics? He made it so they could move. But they've got no...
I don't think so.
I remember having Day of the Triffids vibes previously. I have some inkling. I'm probably wrong. I've had a day where I realised when I got home, I was like, you know, I'm feeling a bit tired and I got a headache. And then realised I'd had 1 cup of coffee this morning compared to my usual, like, several cups of coffee that make me a functioning member of society. Notice how I...
You know what's funny though? Like, I don't drink tea or coffee, but recently, like, I haven't been having Pepsi at all, and I feel so much better for it. Because I normally have Pepsi, and that's my caffeine. But I haven't been having it, and I actually feel like really good at the moment.
But it's also a reduction in sugar as well. Like when I have a hot drink, I don't put sugar in them.
Yeah. To each of their own.
I remember doing exercise, and are we being careful not to line them all up to being shot with the Prism Flowers here?
I don't know. Like, If their attack is so weak, it doesn't really matter, does it? They'll only inflict like 1 damage.
That's what you like to think.
Well, let's find out what happens, shall we?
Laser beamed to death. So this is the Mighty Celeste. I like it when she moves sideways and she's got like a cool little hair flick going on.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Like her amazing fringe just flaps forward. Just reminds me of when I had hair in 2006
by the way,
and played in bands.
How is Gareth, by the way?
I'm good.
Apart from the lack of...
The lack of caffeine.
Your caffeine
I'm good. I'm still sore from chasing a lorry the other day and tripping. I'm sure that everyone at work is like that. It must have been really funny to see. All I can tell you with like a scabby knee and a shoulder that keeps clicking, I'm not seeing the funny side still. But yeah.
You're right, everybody in the comments. Gareth is like 140,
Yeah.
the way he's acting at the moment.
It's definitely how like the joints. I bet you if Rode didn't have, has he got the archer's knife equipped? Because I bet you've missed the chance to shoot at something.
No, I haven't.
Has he got the great shot? He's
that's too far, Gareth.
one short.
Yeah. All right, let's see what happens.
What?
Gareth, they're not doing
What?
anything.
Here we go.
Wait, that one is.
I'm going to attack the biggest
Okay.
defense. How did you feel the first time you saw this animation? Yes.
That's
only
not...
20 attack. Only...
What? That's no moon.
That's no sausage. Did you give her the ice spear? Wow. Was that a crit? I didn't quite catch that, yeah.
That was a crit.
So,
And a pretty good one, too.
so you're not going to go and rub the little ank on? Give him the little get well rub?
Yeah, let's use the Sky Orb. In fact, we haven't used the Sky
not
Orb
since
yet,
we got it.
And it's
Yeah.
Atlas.
So how's John? I
Okay.
noticed that there's a lot less coughing.
There is a lot less coughing. That was some extra editing work that I didn't really need to have to deal with last week. But yeah, we're doing okay.
Just doing it for the people, making sure that they're getting their at least a weekly dose.
Yeah, things are going all right. Like you can, I still sound a little bit and feel a little bit hoarse, but otherwise
Just
not
make
too
sure
bad.
that you're not caught with a horse owner on top of you, having your photograph taken.
Where are these puns?
Have you
coming
not
from?
seen that in the news last week?
No.
One of a horse owner was photographed sat on top of a dead horse, and he's now been banned
nice.
from. Well, it's not
Owning
no,
horses?
from being a competitive sports arena, but it's only like a temporary ban. It's not permanent. But
okay.
it's like a weird thing. Like if you talk to farmers, they probably do weird stuff like that because they've got so used to like the cycle of life around them that, you know.
Are you a farmer defender, Gareth?
No, I'm like I can understand what the outrage is about. I get that, but I also have farming family, so I can also sort of see the, you know. I can see that side. I'm not saying it's the best side.
I almost thought you were going to say appeal.
No,
The appeal of sitting on a
there's
dead
no
horse.
appeal of sitting on a dead horse to me. Unless
There
you
really
own a
isn't.
leather sofa, then technically you're doing that already.
Man, there's going to be... I'd forgotten how much of a pain in the backside this fight can be.
It's just the terrain, though, isn't it? This is why, like, flying units in this or part of this game are really, really good. You can, yep. We shooting him in the face, or we.
Okay, I can attack from there. Yeah, I'm going to shoot him in the face and see what happens.
It's been a while since we've seen the old tank do anything. Of course.
And we're going to have to wait a little bit longer.
I mean, he did something. I'm not saying it was
Annoyingly.
good.
He did do
Oh, this will
something.
be fun. Eric, level 10. He's like.
I did
Yeah.
level him up.
I'm just thinking of like how underleveled he is to some of the characters we've got. That like the Red Knight class might not even be a class. He's just Eric the Eric. You know, taking.
We'll see.
Show me you earned
see.
that title. Show me.
We could do that.
I mean, it's better than nothing. And
Sure.
it might force the Tinkerer to use heal, and then we can take the Tinkerer's spot. Wait, different map. Different map.
Bad memories. Or good memories, depending on what you... Bad memories for us, because we had to do it, but I'm sure some people enjoyed
there's some people out there who...
Luke is dead, isn't he? Oh, Eric is...
Imagine the terror of it if that said he's doing a second attack. Like, just imagine that. And it'd be like... So, what have we discovered?
They do a lot of damage.
That Alex lied.
Remember when I said the flowers had 20 attack?
That's what made you did!
I lied.
Alex always
I'm on to
lies.
you, Alex. So, does Grim have a healing spell? No. No.
No, he doesn't. One of his biggest flaws. I understand that he has the ground axe on, but that's neither here
And he
nor
has
there.
the delights of the bread of life. Well,
I could go
has
here.
she got an attack spell?
Oh, hello. In fact, we can go there and attack.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's a fair old range on that, isn't it? Constant.
And another crit. And another crit!
Only 106. Only
wasn't a crit,
106
but-
without a crit. She's out. It's
Nice.
just not working.
Yeah.
It's just not working out. I think after this fight, you know, we're gonna have to take her out. We're gonna have to take her aside, have a chat.
Oh, I thought you were going to just say, like, oh, we're just going to have to, like, you know, put her out of her misery and then
No.
sit on her.
No. Oh God, John. That cycled around really badly.
So changing the subject quickly, some people may have noticed that hopefully I'm using my new camera. And I immediately
Yeah.
cough.
The perfect time to fetch something up. Flan.
Yeah. No, I told people like on the last episode I'm in the market. I was in the market.
I
and
actually
I'm no longer
liked
in the
how
market.
to pull the veil back, you were like, I'm in the market for a new camera, and I knew that before that episode even went up, you'd bought that camera. Yeah.
Had I?
Because I said, oh, a couple of my friends who do YouTube
Damn it.
still counterattack.
Yeah.
A couple of my friends who run YouTube channels for like heavy metal reactions and stuff like that. They're part of like some networks and communities. Who would, before anyone's like, oh, you should use those links and stuff. They're unrelated links. Like the level of the degrees of separation of me knowing those people, not like, oh well, clearly everybody who likes heavy metal really enjoys tactical RPGs. But yeah, I was like, oh, here's some camera suggestions, and John was like, I've already bought one.
I looked around and I bought like a Sony A6000, if that means anything to anyone. And it's very nice. I like it a lot. It's a bit of a pain to set up, if I'm being honest. It's not quite as easy as the like
It's not a
webcam
plug
is
and
to just
play.
like click it on and go. But you know what? The picture's very nice, and I'm very happy with that. So
Is it as nice as one of your mosaics?
yeah, it has more pixels, more definition than one of my mosaics, Gareth. Surprisingly enough, it has a better
Sorry, I'm just
resolution than
looking at
50
the
by
Higgins
50.
leg as we're talking.
Oh, well, he's
Yeah,
boosted.
He's
you
been
know.
juicing.
We're gonna put Road here, where he's nice
Yeah.
and safe,
Tank.
and hopefully he finishes this guy. off.
Dodge! He didn't dodge, but he's stunned.
He's stunned. It's not bad, but it's not
Yeah,
quite right.
It's close, but it's not quite right. He's not moving.
Oh, Luke.
Sweet. Then.
Did Luke manage to do
Yeah,
anything?
he cast Gust.
Congratulations, Luke. That was a good effort.
Luke
on
is
your
this
part.
episode's Slade. I did a thing, and now I die. Good.
Yep.
After all the D-Soul BS that we dealt with in some other fights. Just not in the mood for it. Excellent, he used Aura instead of D-Soul. Yeah,
Attacking, yep.
I can deal with that. It was
what can Eric do? Oh, missile. Excellent.
he can missile all over.
You put him there, and that might kill him.
We can
actually.
hope.
How much did it do with?
There you go, 76.
Nice.
Remember that some of the spells
That's
are
excellent.
also based off their attack stat as well.
Yep.
But yeah, that was good. Has he?
I'm feeling a lot more comfortable with this team than last week's team. How do you
Is
feel?
that because,
Gareth?
as I commented in the spin the wheel section, we have some frontline characters. And
we
Luke.
do, yeah. And Luke, yes, today's first casualty. God rest his soul.
Yeah, I feel.
Neptune level 2
Yeah.
on this Devil Sniper seems like a good shout.
Let's see how this pans out. But 111, yeah,
Not bad.
solid.
Not bad.
Room for improvement, but solid. Is he? What we're going for here? Is he just using the ring to power himself up?
Did somebody get?
Yeah,
hit?
Luke, and it killed him.
Zinc got
Yeah.
hit.
You've got to be closer, haven't you? Oh, there you go. I just remember last week you were saying about heal 4 and its proximity.
Yeah, heal 4 definitely. Heal 3 not so much.
What do you think of the slight palette change to Zinc?
I like it.
Blue bot.
I feel like Celeste's
Defense is absolute garbage. No wonder that
well, yeah, she has the dark ring on instead of like a defensive ring or item, I suppose.
and we get to see Zinc attack.
You know what? We're gonna
Yeah.
do that.
I
Stop
hope the
the
laser
Tinkerer
beam
from,
comes out. Oh, it's the judo chop. I was hoping for the laser beam.
How do you feel about the blue and the grey there of Zen?
I feel it's
I think it's kind of muted. I feel like I kind of prefer the other one. His original
yellow and
colours, if
green.
I'm being honest.
and then
Yeah.
the metallic body. Thing is, though, is the muted colours kind of give him that old feel, don't they? That, you know, he's been wearing the same dusty tunic.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I don't proclaim to understand the logic of Alex's choices or methodology, but and I'm fairly sure Alex feels exactly the same about that sentence. Does he have the yank? No, we took it away. Cleric staff. We just put it.
Well. Celeste is
hot
dead,
poo.
then.
Yeah. So much for like the powerful anime stylings of her, like, oh, she can skewer 3 guys on the end of her lance, but she's got such trash defense. Did like one of the children rip a wing?
That it doesn't
that
matter.
one of the kids rips the wing
Yeah.
off and was like, yeah, I'm a mean child who picks on bugs and small animals.
Oh, Randolph. That's always been his issue, isn't it?
Accuracy.
Accuracy.
Do you get the feeling that Randolph likes a drink before a fight?
Now that you mention it,
He does always smell like cheap bourbon. Smell.
that dragon rod is absurd.
We were talking about a customer at work today, and
Oh, this could be bad.
we were on about that customer buying a certain product, and I said if he's buying that, it's a miracle because he doesn't have a pleasant odor. And one of my co-workers went, "What do you mean?" And I went, "You know, he doesn't smell hygienic. He smells more like cigarettes and disappointment." And she was like, "I see." And I was like noticeably smoky smell from about 10 foot away. Now, remember, in the UK, to go to work, I have to wear a mask, and I can smell this gentleman from a distance.
Yeah, that's not ideal.
It's not what I get paid to do, but you know, I tolerate it, and I try to be as nice to him as possible. But he does insist on trying to get behind the counter to help himself to products. even like
what? Is he just like literally climbing over to try and get to stuff?
At the moment, we've got like all the temporary like barriers and sneeze shields. He will open the door to the end of the thing to get to the product, to look at the product, and it's like one of the products he buys, as you may guess, is cigarettes.
Yeah.
And in the UK, cigarettes all are in the same colour packaging. There's no branding or labelling on them at all. They're all like really bland looking to be a deterrent.
Yeah.
I don't understand the logic. And they're kept in a cabinet. So if you want cigarettes in the UK, you have to ask for them by brand. And then I can tell you yes or no, or I can show you a list. And this gentleman won't do this. And every time we'll attempt to just go and open the cupboard to see what we've got.
Help himself.
See what we've got. And then he wonders why we chase him out.
I mean, you've got to admit though, like, there are less people smoking these days than ever before.
Not true.
Gareth, there are less people smoking.
I can tell you I feel like I sell as many cigarettes as I do now than I've ever done.
That when you were 14? Like, no, there are less people smoking now than there were when we were kids.
There's
There totally are. That's my entire argument. There totally are.
There totally
Gareth.
is. But
There totally is. And if you disagree, then you're a big poo-poo.
oh, okay. We're going for that level of maturity. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we were talking about the anime nature of Celeste's description and entrance. And how do you feel about it?
I feel that I need to save Higgins.
Desperately.
Or he will die. But I don't think it's going to
Well,
be ruined.
to not have a
just to do
healing
that.
ring.
No, he has this ring.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh!
Run away!
Okay.
Run away.
Or we could
Make sure that
kill
you've
the
not
griffin.
put her in line of a flower. I imagine that. I've moved them
Good point.
away from the flower to then. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was about to.
Yeah.
There we go.
She was fine.
I think that's
Yeah.
safe. Okay.
Watch me with my pro plays. I'm saving her. Laser beam to the face. I mean, to be fair, Zinc usually seems more tanky than this. I mean, was he hit with D-Soul while we were talking?
No, I got hit by one of the lasers.
Laser. So upper square,
Yeah.
run away.
Nope, can't do that either because
Another laser.
That's in line and that's in line. Yeah, I can't hit that guy right now.
So he's still in line, right? Is what you're just telling me from the position you left him in.
No, he's one higher than he was before, Gareth.
But I thought the line. It was.
I'm glad you're
I
not
thought it
playing
was-
this because you're not like paying attention
I was
at
talking
all.
to you.
You're just like, yeah, but I'm doing both of those things at the same
Yeah,
time.
one of the
I'm
two-
still
one of the
paying
two of us
attention
has
to the
to do it.
game. Let's just be glad it's. Nope,
No.
not gonna go there. I'm rising above it. Rising above it. So yeah, I texted Gareth today, basically saying I listened to Trash Taste podcast.
And that's why he talks
which
to
is,
me because I'm trash.
There is that.
Don't you know?
Higgins got completely
I
healed,
don't know.
didn't
I wasn't paying attention, John.
he? Yeah, he did.
Higgins is dead.
Shocker. But yes, as I was listening to Trash Taste podcast, which is an anime podcast, well, that's not strictly true. It's about a bunch of anime YouTubers who live in Japan. It's very good. It's very entertaining. It's basically like three guys hanging out and just chatting and talking.
All I'm gonna say is, John,
about things that
John
happen
was
to
like,
them.
"Oh, you should watch this podcast," and he sent me, and it was like, "What's your best like hentai anime?" And I was like, "Oh, this is the one we choose."
So what I will say is that it's not for if you're not okay with swearing and things like that, and more things of a more adult nature, don't
go.
don't partake in it because it's not for you. Otherwise, it's good fun. And they were talking about like their favorite anime. Now I've been watching anime for a long time. I love anime. Gareth did at some point too, but he fell off because he's a heathen. Oh, and Peter's dead.
Shout out for being dead.
You're very shocked to learn.
But, you know, he's cheap on the old resurrection front.
He is.
Eric is also about to die.
Eric has no mana, unfortunately.
He's not very good at throwing his.
Okay,
he's not very good
happened.
at throwing his old battle stick either.
No.
So anyway, trash taste, anime.
Trash taste. Talking about anime, their top anime of all time, and I was like, they were doing. Excuse me. They were doing some sort of like.
Bye, Eric.
3x3 list thing to show like their favorite anime shows.
That classic anime.
I mean that is an anime. And I thought, yeah, I'll have a go at this. This seems like fun. And I had no idea like how hard it was to actually come up with like 9 different anime that I feel passionate about.
Yeah, but how do you feel about
it's
making
tougher than I
3
expected.
anime that you're passionate about? Because that's 3 guys doing 3 anime each, right? Or were they doing
9 each?
Were they doing it per genre? Or
No, just 9 that they all felt passionate
I'm
about.
going to ask you an
Oh, and one of them had to be a movie as well.
Cowboy Bebop knocking on heaven's door. Next question.
Really?
I mean, it's the influence for one of my tattoos.
Okay.
I just really enjoy the character, the Vincent being the dark Spike kind of character. I'm actually trying. The problem I always have with like a ton of anime movies is I always think of things like the Naruto movies, which are like they were just cash cows.
Poop.
And that like Oscar when he was really little was determined that he was into Pokemon, and my mum bought him a load of like the straight to DVD movies, which we took on holiday in caravans and stuff. And it's just like
I've been forced to watch those too. Then
the worst one is
it
the Zekwaram and Rashiram movie, and it's literally the same movie, and they just changed 2 Pokemon in it.
Of course they do.
And then they sell it. But the thing is, though, is they sold it as a double box set. Celeste, bye, Celeste. Nice meeting you. I hope you enjoyed having 2 wings temporarily.
Yeah. I hope there isn't any sort of like resurrection element in this map because we're not doing so great.
It's fine, John. As we've said for several episodes, as long as Slade hits, you know, he's going to kill everyone with 1 shot. There's no flaw to this logic at all.
No, none whatsoever that I can see.
What's your go-to anime movie what you can think of? Like Knocking on Heaven's Door was like off the top of my head. I kind of like The Conqueror of Shambhala, the Full Metal Alchemist movie as well. It's one of those which when you watch it a little bit later on, at the time it was kind of interesting because it fetched them into our world.
Is that the... So I was going to ask you about this because I text Gareth like what his favourite anime are, and he came back with FMA. And I'm like, well, I didn't actually respond because, you know, I'm busy and I have things to do.
He's also a terrible friend, but moving away from that.
I think everyone already knows that by all the put-downs. But do you mean Brotherhood or the original?
I watched the original, then I watched Brotherhood. In fact, I don't know if we had this conversation before. I actually found Brotherhood hard to watch the first time. Just because of having watched the original OVA one, which wasn't related to the manga, which I got into later.
Yeah.
The Brotherhood series felt like a hard watch because you did like 52 episodes in 6 episodes. There we go.
There we go. We actually hit.
Yeah.
No stun though.
No stun, no fun. Oh, and we're going to lose the healer as well?
No, I think Kana should be fine. Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, have you watched both the OVA?
Road might die.
Road is.
Yeah, I've watched both. I enjoy Brotherhood more. Yeah, I think it's a better series.
When I watched it later,
the art style is better done, and the story's more cohesive as well.
The story's based off the manga, whereas I kind of like some of the tiebacks to the beginning, where the OVA, like there was a big issue. This is another issue where, because one of the other animes I mentioned to John was Naruto, and I watched all of Naruto. My sister used to buy them on the DVDs. And then there was like a whole problem with, is it Madman? It was basically one of the importers, like the dub chain, people who did the dub and then sent it across on DVDs. And
that sounds right.
Madman had this like thing. So like Full Metal Alchemist, I bought back in the day on Play.com. Back in the day,
Ooh, Play.com.
I bought like the first 6 DVDs. Just blind bought them because I'd seen people talking about them on Facebook and stuff. I just blind bought them. I was like, you know what? And there was something like £4 a disc, and I was like, yeah, I've got nothing to do at the moment. I'll get these DVDs, and I watched these DVDs, and I power watched all 6 of them in one evening.
Wow.
Well, it's like 22 minutes an episode. It's 4 episodes a disc, and I was like,
This was clearly before you were a father.
Well before. Even before I met met the mother of my child. And I was like, yeah.
That is disappointing.
Very. And I watched all of it. And then I think 7 and 8 came out. And then there was something like a 4-month gap for 9. And in that time, I think I watched Bleach and Naruto. And then Naruto had a similar problem, like towards the end of Naruto and before Shippuden. And then Shippuden had this whole thing where they did like the first series and then they made you wait like 4 months for the second series. This was like before Funimation and stuff were putting stuff up, and Crunchyroll was like a dubious website at the time. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was like really hit and miss about how good like the stream and, you know what I mean, like the service was. So yeah.
Well, wasn't there a point when Crunchyroll was like on about they weren't legit at
they
one
weren't
point, right?
Because who was the other site as well that was similar to Crunchyroll, and they were trying to like, is it Anime Central? Not Anime Central. But they were basically like an even less legitimate Crunchyroll that were trying to be like, oh, we're a more legitimate Crunchyroll now, because Crunchyroll, everyone's talking about how bad Crunchyroll are doing. But yeah, I really enjoyed Brotherhood, but I had to give it a gap. I had a similar issue with Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, because they moved from like some hand-drawn art to like 100% CGI, and like that art style shift, like, and that's what happened.
That was before, like, even now, like, people struggle with CGI or getting it right. Well, it's anyway. It's
you
not
can tell
easy.
that Brotherhood is more computer based than hand animated based to the original OVA.
That's a lot of MP, by the way, to get back.
So yeah, Full Metal Alchemist is a series that really stands out to me. Like Brotherhood, when I really got into it, I was an emotional wreck at the end of that series. What was your, on a sort of flip to trying to do a top 3? What was your gateway anime? I know mine.
So yeah, that is something I wanted to talk about, because you did ask me about the movie that I felt passionate about, and it's Castle in the Sky.
That was in fact the first ever anime I watched, but I wouldn't call that my gateway. That was random.
Well, it was for me, because I remember it being...
it was randomly on ITV, which is like a public... Well, it's not. It's a commercial TV station in the UK. Back when we were kids, there was 4 TV stations.
So I can tell you something about that, is the only way you could... I'm sure I'm getting some bits of it wrong, but it's sort of like the only way that they had it in English was a special dub was commissioned for like some Hong Kong airline.
I thought, well, the distributor for Ghibli, Buena Vista.
Whoa, like, wow, Gareth, like, yeah, just talk over me. It's fine. Like, you've been talking for like the past 10 minutes. I've been, like,
my apologies.
You know, letting you get on with it, and you're just like, no, actually, it's this thing. No, I heard differently. Yeah. So, I thought. Now, I could be wrong. Okay, but I thought it was an airline deal that they made because I messed up there. The only way to have Laputa in English was on like an airline flight, and ITV or I seem to remember it being on Channel 4, but I guess you remember those things better than I do. I'll admit that. Yeah, they bought the rights to show it when like no. Well, that's kind of annoying.
Not even Dragon Rod can say this. So,
but go on, like you say your bit there, that Laputa was
like, maybe that's right. I just know that the distributor for like Ghibli films is Buena Vista, which is a Disney company.
Yeah, they weren't always though. Yeah. They weren't in the beginning, like back in the late 80s when we saw it.
But I just is that a good position for him?
No, it's
but yeah, I just remember that Buena Vista did it because they got is it Princess Mononoke? Which is it Princess Mononoke where she runs through the village and there's a guy with the axe and she like shoots the axe out of his hands and it rips his arms off. And they were like, "Oh, you've got to get these films."
Yeah, that sounds right.
And then Disney saw these films and they were like, "These are for kids."
Lasers.
But yeah.
By the way, like, I do hope that people like watching this do like anime, because otherwise we've just been talking for like 20 minutes about like a thing that they don't really have any affinity for. But you know, this is something that like I'm very passionate about.
I mean, to be fair, I feel that like,
including Shining Force. So...
Shining Force is definitely like within the anime scale, because.
That's kind of how I look at it. Yeah.
I remember seeing Laputa, and I wanted to see more things in that style, that art style.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah, back then, like in the late 80s, nobody was making like animation like that. Not even Disney. Like Disney's animation is good, but it wasn't on that level. That was like, and then of course there was Akira that came out like, was it 6 years later?
We weren't seeing Akira. I think we'd have been like 9 or 10. I'd have to check the tapes, but I remember seeing it, and I remember it was also one of those films where I told everyone about it at school, and I was like, "Oh, it was great!" And there was these like stone robots, and they flew, and it was amazing, and everyone were like,
"What? What have you been smoking?
What?"
8-year-old Gareth, what have you been smoking?
Well, I went right up to the cabinet.
Yeah, you hypocrite.
But yeah, it was just nuts. Although, to be fair, back when I was like 8, if you went to the shop with a note, you could buy cigarettes for your mum or dad. Yeah.
Really?
Like, shops were just like, yeah, sure, I believe you.
Excuse me.
But yeah, my gateway anime is one that you will know well, because it's Guyver.
Mm-hmm. Bio-boosted armor.
And I
with the film adaptation with Mark Hamill in it. Do you remember that?
Is it not also David Hayes, voice of Solid Snake as well? It's Sean
David
that's
Hayter.
One.
Yeah.
Is Sean Tucker. Not Show Tucker. Sean.
No, not Show. You know what?
There's also a guy on YouTube. While you're here on YouTube, don't pause the video. Wait till we finish, and you can look this up. There was a guy who, like, he made some money in America for turning up at conventions because he made his own Guyver suit, and it was ridiculously good.
Yeah, I will get a picture of that. If it is as good as you claim, Gareth, I will put a picture up on the screen like
Yeah.
here.
The bit
right
that was
now.
also weird, to continue this week's theme of smoking, not a sponsor, there's just
Oh
really...
my god, Gareth, what the hell are you
Well,
doing?
I just remember seeing this guy and he was like, oh, this is how I made the suit, and he made it so like the chest piece opened up and stuff, and he had like...
Really? That
and
far?
but then he
That's
was
really
like,
cool.
he'd made it so it looked like organic on the inside, and then he was like, oh, I made like these resin orbs, so it looked like the Mega Smasher, and then he put lights into it that looked like it was charging up and stuff. He'd gone deep.
So again, right, let's explain what Guyver is to people that haven't seen Guyver. It's extremely violent. It was made during like the heyday of like the ultra-violent anime days, where like if your guys that are in fights that are like the Power Rangers weren't ripping arms off and like just disemboweling people, you were doing it wrong back then. So everything was ultra-violent.
I remember getting one of the videos. Yeah, videos, VHS tape.
VHS
Google it,
tapes,
kids.
baby. I'll put a picture up of a VHS tape as well.
We watched that, and my mum, I think there was one of the videos, and it was a 12, and my mum was willing to let me get it. It wasn't even bought sequentially. It was just like, okay, I think I was about 10, and she was like, oh, you're close enough. And then she saw the violence in it, and she was like, no. However, 10-year-old Gareth was, I got the taste then, and then, like, as happened...
Well, didn't you have like 1 to 8 or 9, and then I got the other 4?
So there was a way around this in the fact that my dad was like, oh, well, you own a video of this at home, it'll be fine. So all the ones that were listed with 15 on it, I just took him to a local music shop that also sold VHS. And
your dad must have gotten into so much trouble for that.
the secret of that is not to let your mum know you own the videotapes. So you just came in and took them upstairs and like put them in a drawer.
Guyver was your like porno mag.
Yeah. My illicit materials.
Yeah. But you didn't hide that in the woods after you were done with it, though, did you, Gareth? You kept it.
No, it came back because it was reusable.
Yeah. So is the porn.
Well, it depends on how soiled you left it.
Oh God, Gareth, really? Really?
But yeah, anyway, the Guyver was like my gateway into like a ton of like anime tropes.
Yeah. Same. Like I said, I bought some of the tapes that like it was one of those shows that like because it was Japanese and we got like was it 13 or 12
there was
videos?
one missing. And in no way was it the finale, which is the most important thing.
No. So we never actually got to see what the final.
Well, the bit that's even better is it's curated because you don't even see the female version of Guyver 3 in it.
Oh yeah, so there you go. But yeah, that was our gateway to violence
and Japanese animated culture.
Anime. Yeah, but it was very cool. Like, I enjoyed that a lot.
There you go.
I don't even remember like how I got the other tapes. I think my dad just bought them for me as well. Like, because getting tapes back then was not, especially anime, like Japanese anime was not cheap. They were like the expensive ones.
I'm going to tell you that.
And you only got, I think you only got like, was it 3 episodes on each one?
That was the other thing. Like, is some had 3 episodes and others had 4. So sometimes
excellent stun there.
There's sometimes points where you felt like you were getting value for money because you got an extra episode. Or occasionally what I'd do is hope that there was enough to piece stuff together. On a random note, who was your favourite character in Guyver? And I should know this better than I do. If you don't remember exactly who they are, like, I'll take a vague description, because it's been about 5 years since I've watched it.
It's the dude in the... Is it Guyver 2 armor or Guyver 3? The black...
The dark armor. Is the guy Agito.
Yeah, the edge lord.
Agito.
Yeah. Agito.
But,
yeah. Because back then, like, edgelords were like, I'm sure, like, all kids are at that age. Like, edgelords are cool.
See, my favourite
Like-
character was not that.
Really? Who was it?
It was the guy who, the journalist who was the half-caste Zone Lord.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
Who had,
I
like,
know
the
you.
damaged crystal. Also,
Yeah, this is going to mean nothing to most people, but yeah, okay.
yeah, for me, it was great. For me, there you go.
Why am I hitting
Murakami
him? He's
is the
stunned.
name of the journalist. Because he was
Okay.
the prototype body for one of the Zone Lords. And it turns out that technically he's more powerful than the actual guy who's meant to have the perfected Zonoid material in him. But, like, because his crystal's damage, it's like, yeah, I'm more powerful, but I go mental afterwards.
You're getting too far into the weeds, Gareth. Like, people that aren't interested, there's going to be some people that are just like, what the heck are they
It's like we've
talking
lost
about?
him. We've lost him. He's gone.
Yeah.
We even referenced Guyver in our first ever D&D campaign, if you remember, as well.
I don't remember things like that, Gareth.
If
You-
I
you
say
know
our
me.
first D&D campaign and I mention the tavern, the first time our DM tried to assassinate us in a tavern and I cast Thunderwave in an enclosed space.
Oh, yeah. That was actually pretty cool. That was like one of the very few cool things that you did,
Yeah.
Gareth.
Thanks. So Gareth did some weeb stuff, but it was cool. Actually, with me,
It made a
with me
change.
making that joke, one of my friends was putting on Facebook today that he commented multiple times that he's put on his CV that he can play the piano, and he can. He's a very good pianist. But then it was like, oh, what kind of music do you
Okay.
play? And then he realised near enough his entire repertoire is Final Fantasy tracks.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. There's definitely a market
And he'd
for it.
put up, it's like in question marks, what kind of music do you play? And I just put, oh, weep stuff.
Can he play Megalovania?
I don't know, but I'm sure if I ask him or we look about, we can find it out.
I need to give Grim, like, something useful. Like, this none of this is useful unless I want to use the light of the bread of hope.
This isn't. Good luck finding. I think it's this one. I found the Guyver suit, and it's from 9 years ago, but it looks to be more like Guyver 3 than Guyver 1. But
Like I said, people like edgelords when
Yeah.
they're young. But yeah,
all I remember.
I can play some of Megalovania on a keyboard. So like if I can do it, he definitely can.
I mean,
It's just a matter of willpower.
I
that
can
point.
play the what's the JoJo? Is it Giorno? The JoJo's Bizarre Adventure cast gets very confusing because of their obsession with the Jo prefix.
Well, yeah. So I think that's to do with. Now I haven't actually seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but I understand that there is some time travel involved, and so because of that, that is why that's a thing. What was I going to say? Yeah, my favorite character from JoJo is the guy who tries to speak English, and he comes out English, and it's fantastic. Oh no! There is swearing in that too.
It's on Netflix, weirdly enough. Yeah.
Really?
I just can't find myself to watch it. I've heard too much weird stuff.
Speaking of old anime that's in places I wasn't expecting, Gareth, I have to get your attention because like I'm trying to like interject and you're just like no.
Real sorry.
So sorry, not sorry. Yeah, surprisingly great anime in places that you wouldn't expect. All 4, which is like the online streaming service for like terrestrial television channel, has Vision of Escaflowne.
What?
Did you ever watch that?
Did you show me that back when you used to like download everything off LimeWire and wonder why your PC didn't work anymore?
How dare you insinuate that? But no, it used to be on Fox Kids. on satellite, and it was brilliant. And it has dragons in it, so I'm going to show it to my daughter because she loves dragons.
We were talking about this the other day. Was it due to this conversation? Gesp is back again.
Gesp is back. So I'd say we did okay on that fight. We could have been a little bit more careful, but I was too busy like defending Anime's honor from Gareth.
I mean, when you
to put my 100%
when
into
you were saying like anime where you didn't expect it, I was waiting for you to say like I found the full collection of Guyver in a tree the other day, or it was trapped behind some jam jars in a local convenience store.
Not quite. It was on All 4, which isn't a place you expect to see like anime of any
Channel
kind.
4 had 3x3i, which I referenced earlier. They used to have like random animes, basically when you'd come home from the pub time is how I would describe that.
Yeah. For you kids watching, by the way, coming home from the pub time means like at 2 in the morning before we had streaming and could watch anything whenever. So, yeah. Let's get back to Gesp. So, Prism Flowers? My Prism Flowers! Woody, I shall return with Red Baron. You'll pay for this.
He turned into the Verger from Dad's Army. Just wait till I tell the vicar on you.
And now we run away because most of our team is dead.
We need some guys. So, are you wanting to try the Red Baron fight tonight? Because that fight didn't feel like it was very long. But then again, we were talking about the blessed animes of our youth.
Well, we're on an hour and one. So, we'll leave it there. Because there's the wheel to add in as well. So, that'll probably end up being over an hour. Although saying that, there's...
I mean, do we have to do the wheel if it's the same episode? Have we found a loophole to the wheel? Or have I just peer pressured you into another fight? I've bullied John verbally for an hour, and now he's doing whatever I demand.
There's the swings and roundabouts. Like, I'm fairly happy with this team, so on that front, I want to. But then there's the whole like it could be another 40 minutes, in which case there's a lot more editing involved, and no guarantee that it'll come out on Sunday. So I think I'm going to take the safe option and end it there.
Okay.
If anyone's upset with that, sorry, but I figured that having it consistently be out at a time that people can enjoy earlier is more of a better choice
for us all
than. Well, yeah, because it keeps the schedule that people might be expecting by now, and it's not putting as much pressure on me to get it out on time. So, yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna leave it there for today. Sorry if it ends up being a shorter episode, but we basically just chatted through that entire.
That's how casual we were.
So
that's how casual that fight was. It was like not with the exception of a couple of positions at the beginning.
Yeah, some bad positioning on my part, and
but you know,
me just chucking Celeste off to the left because I just thought she was invincible because she did like over 100 damage on every hit. Turns out she's made of cheese, though. That's kind of
something
a problem.
about glass and cannons.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were powered by God and anime. That's all the people need to know.
True. And on that note, we're going to say goodbye. So thanks very much for joining me, as usual, Gareth. And we'll see you guys next time. Ciao.
Bye, guys.